Um, Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's live trading session and review of the week. Apologies that it's a bit too sunny here in Ireland today, which is a bit of an anomaly on its own. The image of me isn't as good as it should be, but I've tried closing a few shutters, but it's not working. So we're about 9 minutes away or so from the opening bell. Markets have been stronger this morning. So the DAX has been very, very powerful and strong. The euro moving back towards that 109 level. We've just had a bit of a sell-off in the last few minutes, both in both of the indices. Whether or not that will continue after the opening bell is to be seen. There is some data this afternoon, consumer sentiment data, and also some inflation or very soft inflation data. Sorry, that's not right. So it's inflation expectations is the best way to explain it. And with the week that we've had and some reasonably good data in relation to inflation, it will be interesting to see how those numbers come in. And if the consumer sentiment, which is probably the bigger of the two pieces of data, is decidedly negative, then we might see a continuation of the sell-off that we've seen during the course of the week. The big news yesterday was that the S&P 500 hit correction territory, so it's down 10% from its recent high, which would have also been its record high. Nasdaq is well past that level now, and all of the indices are negative for the year. So the euphoria, or that initial euphoria we saw when Trump was first elected, has dissipated and is now a distant memory. And a large part of that is, of course, the tariffs and how the tariffs are affecting everything. Friday always seems, for me, over the last few weeks, is a dangerous day. Trump always seems to have something to say, be that by way of an executive order or just saying something himself. We see some fairly wild swings on a Friday. Now, we've seen wild swings all week. It's been important to stay in the trade. We had a bit of a technical error here yesterday when the gold trades that were still open at 8 p.m, which was the closing time, weren't closed down at 9. And I was doing an AMA on Reddit, so hadn't really paid enough attention to it to double check that they were closed. So I've been nursing those trades today, which has been detrimental. I don't think it would necessarily have changed anything. I probably would have still been selling gold as soon as we hit that 29.90 level, waiting for it to come off. But if we just have a quick look at gold before we go on to the other markets, we can see here in the middle, or towards the middle of your screens there, that we did go up and trade above that 2300 level, probably touched 2305, so a bit of stop activity in here when we went through that 2300 level. I was having a conversation with one of the clients earlier about how easy we would get through 2300. Never ceases to amaze me. It was a lot easier than I was expecting. Sorry, not 2300. Get through the 3000 level. $3,000, that is. I was expecting more resistance, but as you can see, we went $5 above before we traded back down. And now we're moving back towards 29.94, 95 at the moment, and we have been a little bit lower. So unable to sustain that move above the 3,000 level, and now trading back. And because of the position that I've had to run from last night, I'm looking for gold, or hoping for gold, to sell off during the remainder of today. So just a quick look at the currency. Sterling is off of its highs, and the euro is pushing back to its most recent highs around that 109 level. So as I've said already, we'll be looking for that consumer sentiment data about 2 p.m. and the inflation expectations report at the same time. We'll be looking to those within the next 35 minutes or so to see what the next move is going to be in this market. But as we head into that opening bell about 3.5 minutes away, we're seeing a bit of weakness coming into the market, but a market that is stronger today. Let's not forget, in the Dow yesterday we closed around 40,850. So we're a good 250 points above that level, but whether it is sustainable now is the question. I think just a few things just in general terms in relation to the markets. We have seen increased volatility this week. The VIX has picked up. We've seen some massive swings in these markets pretty much over every day this week. Today is probably the least that it has swung so far this week. But as I said, it's a market that's a bit stronger today. But so volatility up. The intraday moves are certainly more expansive. If you just look at the DAX for today, this morning, I sold the DAX at 22,539. I managed to get out of that trade with a 13 pip profit. And then this afternoon, I've stopped out a DAX position around the 23,050 level. So more than a 500 pip trading range on the DAX, which is excessive. Not quite that sort of trading range on the Dow. We've probably gone from about, not far below 41,000 to about 40,140. And we're still coming off as we speak. So just really waiting for that opening bell now. I'm not going to add anything. I think my position is a little bit hamstrung as it is. I think I've probably ridden very, very close to the auto stop today. Could well be that the auto stop should have triggered earlier and is part of this system malfunction that will correct over the remainder of today. So as it stands, it is a profitable week. I've got to close these trades. If I was to close them all out now, I think we're probably looking about 200, 250 pips worth of profit. Should have been a digit 1 in front of all of that, but just these swings over this last day have really kicked me in the teeth, so to speak. So let's just have a look at the Dow before we see how this is going to move on the bell. So we've got a 1 minute chart open. You can see where we started here earlier in the day. We're back to those sort of levels. 41,060, 41,040 was a level that traded a lot this morning. I am short the Dow, but considerably below here. Probably only 55, 60 pips away from here now as we trade. Sorry, that's a bit more than that, 65 pips as we trade at 41,080. But you can see the levels that we did go to there. If I widen this out to a 15-minute chart, you see there is a bit of a trend to the upside. But this last candlestick is starting to come under a bit of a pressure. And with less than a minute to go now, before this market opens, we are seeing more sellers coming in. So we're down to 41,050, getting closer and closer to that level that I am short the Dow. I'm sure gold is picking up a little bit at the same time. No, not too much, still around 29.95. The indices are flowing. So the market is open now, trading 41,080. Let me just open this up a little bit more. I've gone back up to 41,100. So nice move there, off of 50 up to 100, just on that opening bell. But the buyers and sellers are probably just about evening themselves out at the moment. Like I said, I'm short that market, going to stay short, look for a move back towards the 41,000 level. Might take a small loss on it just to keep hold of some of the profit from this week, reduce the risk, and then maybe reappraise how I want to trade for the rest of the day. But for the time being, I'm reasonably, I'm definitely more exposed than I want to be. And I'll be looking to take advantage of a dip if we see one to the downside here. So we're trading 41,040 at this particular point. Sorry, I'm not even sure what I'm clicking on there, so let's forget that. Just in relation to other things that we've seen, sorry, I've lost it altogether now. Just in relation to other things that we've seen during the week, so we've gone all the way down to the level that I'm short at, 41,004. So I'm just going to quickly, whilst I'm talking to you, I don't know what happened there, to be honest with you. Hold on, bear with me for 1 second. So somehow I closed that trade. I didn't mean to. I apologise for that. You got about 20 pips. I think that was whilst I was trying to open the trade. So I closed it at 41,000. That was a profit of 4 for me. But you could have taken up to 20 pips there, I think, and the market's still trading around that sort of level. So I'll reappraise the Dow. It's been very weak all week. When you look at the indices, you've got the S&P 500 down in correction territory, so down that just over that 10% level, as I've already said, and the Nasdaq is also down by a similar level. The one that is doing a little bit better, well, not doing better, but is less negative, is of course the Dow. Let's just have a look at the other markets quickly, just before we look at the results, if I can get those up, because it looked like I tried to get rid of those there. So we're back below 29.90 in gold. The Dow has moved below 41,000 again, and it has taken a nice dip down there to 40,960. The DAX remains elevated. I'm not sure how long it's going to be able to hold on to those sort of levels, but we'll monitor that during the remainder of this afternoon. But really, a sell-off in gold is probably the best result for me during the course of this afternoon, and the DAX catching up with the Dow. So I should have had it open ready. So we've got this one Dow trade there. I'll just close that. Sorry, I've only just updated these, so it's all a little bit behind at the moment, just because we had that system error this morning. That's the trade that I just closed, which means that I have 4 trades left open. 2 of those are the gold trades that are causing me issues from yesterday, and then I'm also short the DAX and Bitcoin from today. That's the fairly horrendous stop loss, or the loss taken of mine on that DAX position earlier. That would be probably 150 pips better at this particular point. What can I say about the week's trading? Overtraded every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Obviously, we've had that slight system malfunction yesterday, which we'll put right today. So there probably is a small loss to be associated with yesterday. A bigger loss with today, unfortunately. But as I've said, it should still be profitable for the week. And I'll update that as we go through. You can see that, there's a high percentage of winning trades, 175 trades in total, 151 winners, 20 losers, but the losers, because of the swings, I've just let run far too far. I think the swings have worked in my favour sometimes, against me other times, certainly where those stops are coming into play. Do they balance each other out over the course of the week? Not entirely sure, to be honest with you, but there have been some massive swings. So it's been a very volatile week's trading, difficult week's trading, but as we can see, if we just look back at the last couple of weeks, I think, nice return there, 1,015 pips, The week before was 2,055. So if we have a decent return this week, it'll be well above 3,000 pips over the last 3 weeks. I'm just going to close that down. Close that down as well. We'll have one last look at the markets. We've seen a bit of a pick-up there. The Dow back to 41,040. Gold still ticking down a little bit. The DAX has jumped back up. I'm just going to sell the Dow here, get back on Telegram, and I'll update you very shortly. Take care of yourself. Have a good weekend. And I'll be on Telegram following that trade in the very short term. Thank you very much.